6 on the Going Home program. And, online you can find a lot of good music. And online is also an opportunity where you can sell your music. And we're talking now with John Seda. He's a songwriter, producer, and an engineer, and founder of Born a Musician. And he joins us now to talk about a website that helps you sell music online. And we welcome you to the program.
Hi, Mark. How's it going?
Just fine. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing really good.
Now, is this Born a Musician? Is this the website where it can help you get your music online? And if so, how long has it been in existence?
Well, we started beta testing in September of last year. We did a release in February. It was up and running already as of September, but now it's officially, everything's been tweaked out. It's been in the works for over a year and a half. We have 150 digital stores worldwide, which makes us the largest in the Western Hemisphere. And pretty soon we'll be the largest in the world. We did a big deal with a company from Japan called Space Showers Network, and we're going to have an additional 50 stores in about a month.
Now, how does this work, John?
Well, it's real simple. It has a sign-up process, which is for free. The artist goes in and puts their name and address and all that good information, and make their username and and put in their artist name. They'll get an email with a password. They log in to the sign-up section, and basically they can upload their song. Either it's a single, EP, or an album. Single goes for $4.99 for the first year, which is the lowest price in the industry right now, and $99 the following year. We do not take any money from the royalties or the sales. The artist gets everything. The only thing that they split money is with all the distributors, because that's how they make their money, as far as a commission.
Now, is this an opportunity where maybe some individuals, used to you had to be discovered, sign a contract with a record company, and they'd be subjected to their whims? Is this a way for other people to go a route that's more pure to what the artist is writing and singing about?
Yeah, that's correct. It's basically designed for independent artists and labels. It's a really good, because one of the things that we have the same playing field as the major labels do. For example, we have YouTube distribution, which is one of our, we have iTunes and also Amazon, but I want to talk a little bit about YouTube. YouTube, about several months ago, created a different way, which is actually going to benefit artists in a big way. Anytime an artist comes to our website and uploads a song to sell, right, at our subscription price, the audio file automatically gets watermarked, so when they upload a video, whether it's a slideshow video, music video, or if somebody without their permission uploads it, or a friend of theirs uploads it, the artist makes money from any of the views of those videos being played. So in other words, what's really cool about that is that now you don't have to worry about somebody stealing your music or using your music without your permission, because you're going to make money through it regardless. There's a process, and this is a really cool thing that YouTube did, because it avoids having to write letters to people, and it actually puts the artist in a real good place, because if somebody's puts up their music, they're going to get paid for it. And we've got the same deal that the major labels do, which is 60% more than if the person went directly with YouTube in America, and 40% more in Europe.
Now, is this approach embraced by the music industry overall?
Say again, please.
Is this kind of approach, there for a while, Pearl Jam and a lot of artists were really standing up against downloaded songs and stuff, saying it was taking away revenue for them. But has the industry kind of realized that maybe this is another route, and it's all right? Have they embraced the idea?
Well, this is actually a positive thing. What happened back in the past when those bands were going through some of these lawsuits they were going through was because they were uploading their music without their permission, and they weren't making money from it. And then, and obviously that's not a good thing, because free music doesn't help anybody. It might help that person who downloads it and they think that they got it for free, but the truth is it really destroys the arts. Artists have to, that's one of our mission statements. When you go to my website, right away you see on the front page, it says enhance the musical economy. We're doing different things and working very diligently to help artists to make money. And we're starting off by creating these services that YouTube is doing, because this service is not offered by everybody. It's only certain distributors in the world that have this ability to offer this to artists. And the way I see it, it's going to just get better. Of course, a lot of the complaining and a lot of the lawsuits of the past, which I totally agree with, got us to where we're at right now. One of the things you have to understand is that the internet's been in play as of about 15 years, let's say, right? And but really it didn't get heavy until about 2000, 2001. Then it started growing gradually every year. When the change went over, let's say for example, I don't think anybody was ready for it. It was a change of platform, a different way of selling music. And a lot of hype went out to the benefit of others that free music was a good thing, but it's not, because that's the artist's intellectual property. If they give away their music and they perform for free, then what do they got left? They have to have something where they can make income from, and it's not solely from the concerts, because a lot of these concerts that are going on are not paying the artists the way they should. Some of them actually have the artist playing for free, or some of them actually, because they're big venues and they, an independent artist feels it's a great opportunity, they're actually having the artist pay for some of these venues. So our goal is to help turn that around. I think that it would help our community, or all our local communities of artists who are making money, because they would have money to spend within their community. And I think that this whole thing about free music definitely has to come to a stop. I think part of the problem is the way they use file sharing. And file sharing is a really good thing, because I use it a lot with friends of mine that record, across the United States and different places like, New York, Los Angeles, or Europe. And, you send your files back and forth, and it's really cool to be able to do that. You save money on, airfare and all that stuff. But when an artist takes a song and he puts the whole song either on his webpage or on a platform that does, streaming for free, no one's going to buy your song if you put the whole song up there. It's like the movie trailers, right? You watch a movie trailer, it's about 1 minute, 2 minutes long, and you get the idea. So you want to see it, either you do pay on demand, or you go to the movie theater and you pay to watch it. Well, it's the same theory applies to music. If you give the whole thing away, it doesn't give any incentive for the listener to want to pay. And there's a lot of artists come forward. I think it's a lot of young artists who never really had the experience of what it was like when they were making money before, are saying that helps them sell their get them shows. But if the shows are paying less and they're not getting any money from record sales, other than the fact that they might sell some CDs at the venue, I don't really think that helps very much at all. So we try to encourage young artists to be a little bit more business savvy, because in this era of all these services that are being offered, this whole thing is being designed for artists to sell their product and to make money. And I think one of the things too that you have to look, I also actually tell this to artists, is that not everybody's going to like your song. And so you can't expect, if you give it away for free to everybody, that that's just going to mean that everybody's going to be your fan. That doesn't work that way. I think you have to be used to get used to rejection. If people say no, I don't want to buy your record, well, don't don't feel bad about it. Just go to the next person, or or promote it, and do a good job of songwriting. That's another thing too. Just because people go in the studio and they start giving away CDs in their community, that doesn't mean that the product is good. So I think that it's if they're not selling records, it's either attributed to a couple of things. They're not promoting correctly. They don't have any radio airplay. It could be that the song is not to the likes of many. So what we do is we try to encourage to try to do really good work. Don't all these software platforms that make things easier than they were before, that with photography and audio and all that stuff, don't use that as a crutch. Just use it as a tool, but it doesn't take away from the fact that musicians have to practice their craft, and that's what really gets people to like them when they're really good at playing.
What safeguards are there to protect against objectionable lyrics or content or subject matter?
You mean as far as lyrics that have bad language or something like that?
Yes, or like I say, a song that deals with a subject that's, well, not in good taste.
Well, that's part of the freedom of speech thing, right? I don't agree with music that has bad content, but some people feel that's their way of expressing. I always try to encourage artists never to use bad words in their songs. But that's just me. A lot of them agree. A lot of it's done by peer pressure, too. If just someone does it, I'll do it, that kind of a thing. But I think the greatest songs that have ever been written had nothing to do with that. And that's what we should look at. And the songs that have sold the most records had nothing to do with that. So I think that what it is, too, is that because there's file sharing where people can put up their music on several, numerous platforms and no social networking, that somebody gets an idea, they think that's good, they put it up, and then I think what happens is that a lot of the too many amateurs, and it's kind of it boggles the pro guys or the amateurs that are coming up that are really good. So it's hard to control that. It's a good question, but it really has to be part of the artist's agenda to understand that the cleaner it is, the easier it is for people to listen, and then it's got to be good on top of that. It just that doesn't mean just because it's clean song or has a good topic that it's going to be a great song. So that's what.
Now, a lot of times bands or artists just starting out on the local level may have to resort to local venues and stapling flyers up on telephone poles and things like that. This is a chance online that pretty much is it where it can be viewed all around the world in regards to their music?
Yeah, it hits 150 sites. It all depends on, it's genre oriented, so not all the stores sell multiple genres. But let's say, for example, like a rock record, it pretty much hits about over 110 stores. The ones that kind of like go to all of them, except if they're strictly rock stations, then you got techno, you have hip hop and all sorts of styles of music. So it just depends on which style of music is more popular and how many stores are out there they're selling.
I want to correct myself. I believe it was the drummer from Metallica that was leading the charge about online downloading. Pearl Jam, I think, actually released some of their stuff and was fan friendly. So let me correct that. It wasn't Pearl Jam, but Metallica and a few other artists had really campaigned against it for a while. Right. In regards to the rights for music, when somebody submits that, they still own all the rights to it, or do they lose it?
No. It's non-exclusive, and they can stop at any time they want to. That's why we don't take nothing from the sales, and we do not take anything as far as royalties or anything like that. One thing that I'm doing differently, I started this a couple of years ago, and I will be quite honest with you. I was inspired by a lot of young artists, local artists, that were coming to me, complaining to me, and saying, "What are we going to do? Where do we play? I can't afford to play at some of these places. I can do it one time. How many tickets do I have to sell?" And it's pretty sad because I own a recording studio, and I've been doing this a great part of my life. And I will tell you that I have to, and I tell this to listen up to all the young artists, that I'm 54 right now, and I never stopped networking. And I have never stopped promoting myself and promoting the studio. So it's a lot of work, but there's great rewards with it. So it's just like practicing. I'm a guitar player. I practice every day. So there's rewards with that. But what happened was after hearing a lot of these complaints, I just felt it was time to to give something back. And my wife, who's our marketing director, she was really encouraging me. She says, "Oh, you got that digital idea. I think you should do it." And it started off with a project called Teach to Dream, and that's where we were trying to help artists to make money. And then it turned into Born a Musician, and Teach Your Dreams still exist, except Born a Musician was a better title, we believe, because we believe that all musicians feel that they were born to be a musician. So we put it together. We worked diligently. I mean, I went to France a couple of times. I got signed with a label actually a couple of years ago in Denmark called Denmark Music Group. And they called me and wanted me to come on board. And about a year later, I came up with this concept, and I approached them with it, and they really liked it. So we gathered investors and put it together, and here we are. And now we're actually one of the biggest, right now. And I'm very proud of that. There was a lot of sleepless nights, and I'm saying that again to all the artists to understand that none of this stuff is easy. There is no money tree. It's all about work. I think that anything like a basketball player or a football player or a boxer, right? They have to work out. It's work. It's not nothing comes easy. I believe it was who was it? The guy from Starbucks who went to the bank 250 times before he got a loan. So and the same story.
That is perseverance right there.
Right, exactly, and I think it was Disney too. Disney was over 300 times going to the bank to get a loan to be able to start Disney. And we can talk about Steve Jobs, about Richard Branson, a lot of people that were persevered. Actually, one of the musicians that I have a lot of respect for as far as his marketing techniques, and I like some of his music too, is Gene Simmons from Kiss. He proved that if you can mix in some business, with what you do, you can make money, and that's kind of a thing that I want to say to artists. Don't be afraid of the word business. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with making money in music. And a lot of there's kind of like the pro guys don't feel that way, of course, because that's how they make money from performing. But you have a lot of people that aspire to be maybe at one point a pro, or maybe they're semi-pro. So they go, I just want, if I make a couple of bucks, I'm just having fun. But when they do those type of things, they create a situation where it makes it difficult for other people that really are dedicated to stuff to make a living. So I think it doesn't take away from the fact that either you're semi-pro or not. If you're worth the money and your talent speaks for itself, then you should be paid for that. So it's like there's some venues that actually this is all across the United States. This has nothing to do where I come from, where bands are playing for $60, for $100 for the whole band. And I look at them when they tell me this kind of stuff, and I really feel bad for them. I said, Jesus, I mean, the dishwasher makes more money than that, and, he doesn't have to practice for 8 years, to learn how to perform and learn how to write music and all that stuff. So and I think you were talking about the guy Mars from Metallica. He was right, it's his music. It's his intellectual property. It was the band's intellectual property. So, but that the downloading stuff is coming to a stop. I mean, they shut down companies like LimeWire and other companies that were doing stuff like that. So it's really getting it's coming to an end right now. So there's greener pastures ahead of us. It's going to take a couple more years, but I think what it is too is, we got to kill the myth of that musicians don't relate to business. And I don't really believe that, because when they go to play, they know how much it's worth, and if they don't get paid, they complain. So, it's just a matter of, just taking a few moments and saying, how much am I worth, and how do I want to obtain my goal to be able to make a certain amount of money so I can, do well. And that's my opinion about that.
Any advice that you want to give to any aspiring musicians or anybody wanting to get their music heard? Any other advice you'd want to give to them?
They have to find ways to do press releases, to post, 30-second snippets of their music. if they can't afford to perform in some of these places, then make a backyard party and make your own party, just like Van Halen did back in the days when, you know, he used to do these backyard parties in Los Angeles. The thing is, don't give up. You know, never give up. That should never be a word, and never get discouraged. And this is not instant gratification. This is it's called dedication. And so I think what needs to be done is that when I have this saying, and I've proven it to many artists before, and I'll tell you a quick. This goes out to the young artists too, and all the artists so they can hear this. I knew this girl I was producing one time, and she's amazing, right? But she had a little bit of, you know, low self-esteem, and so I had to always build her up all the time. And a lot of artists suffer from that. They suffer from low self-esteem. So I said, look, we're going to go to this club, and you're going to sing this original song, and I guarantee you that they're going to give you a standing ovation, all right? And that's a pretty hard promise to you know. So I made sure we drove around, and this was not something I planned out. I went up to this guy and I handed him $20. I said, "Can you let her sing a song, please?" And I could play the guitar. And he was like, "Oh man, you don't have to give me the $20. I'll let you play a song." I said, "Oh, thank you very much." Well, she was so good, and so she had soul. You know, that's really important to have in music. You know, she had this spirit about her, and a lot of musicians have to work on that, right? Well, she got up there and boom. Did finish the song. She got her standing ovation. People started signing autographs, and I looked at her and I said, "Any questions? Now that you know you can do it, open your mouth. Let people know you can sing. Don't just keep it to yourself. If somebody doesn't want to hear you, play. You know, don't talk too much. You know, sometimes in music there's too much talking. You know, just play, perform. Let people hear your music. You know, and find a way. You know, and if it's doing some auditions, then do the auditions, right? And you know, another thing too is that a lot of artists think that if they go play top 40, and Bon Jovi said this actually, which I thought it was really cool on the what was Larry King Live one time. He asked the same question, and he said that if you play top 40, which is commercial music, you know, you're never going to make it writing your own music, no matter how hard you try. And he says, so you have to be original. And being said that, you have to be good about being original. And so you can't mix the both. Either you decide this is what you want to play, or be original and be something different that people will like, and work really, really hard at it. And the fact, one thing I admire, what he said also was, he says, everybody thinks that what I do is easy, and it's not easy. I'm in a hotel room after I played in front of 100,000 people, and I'm lonely, and I miss my family. So it's not a, you know, a lot of people think that it's a joyride. You know, fame is that's what a lot of the kids talk about today. They want to become famous, you know, and fame doesn't actually bring you money. That's the misconception. They think if they become famous, you know, somebody's going to hand them or sign them or something like that. And that doesn't work that way. So it all goes back to one thing. Work hard at your music and be the best you can be. That's the best advice I can give them.
Exactly. Well, give that website again, John.
It's bornamusician.com. We also have a social page, which is free for artists so they can network and meet each other, and that's social.bornamusician.com. And I have a Facebook page, which is facebook.com/bornamusician.
All right, very good, John. We certainly appreciate you being with us today.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, Mark.